Hello, everyone. My name is Christy Petisick, and I've been asked by Head Office to talk to you about the benefits of being organized. A copy of today's presentation will be sent to your registered email address. However, before we begin, I respectfully acknowledge that we live and work on the traditional and unceded territories of the Squamish and Tsleil-Waututh nations. So who am I, and why do I get to talk to you about being organized? Well, I have been with Over the Moon Corps since 2011. I've also been training since 2015. And outside of the office, I'm a certified event and wedding coordinator, which has tons of organization there. And as you can see to the left, I'm proud dog mom to Hershey. And since I was been born, I've been driving my mom and most of my family absolutely mad since I learned what Excel was. My mom swears I was born knowing how to use it because I use it to organize everything. So, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about how being organized can reduce your stress and make you more productive. We're also going to talk about how it creates better overall wellness and some tips to get you started. So, as I mentioned, we're going to start by talking about how being organized can reduce stress and make you more productive. So how are we going to do that? We are going to slowly work on eliminating those last minute scrambles. No more this, oh, I left that on my dining room table, or oh, that was on my desk. Darn it, what do you mean that's on my calendar? That shouldn't have been there. I didn't know about that. We're going to slowly work on dialing those back. And how we're going, and by doing that, we're going to reduce our body's primary stress hormone called cortisol. We like to keep those levels nice and low and calm. Next, we're going to talk about how it will help with being productive at home and at work. You're going to know what's on your plate. You're going to know what's coming. That way you can create space for those unexpected changes or emergencies that we all know that happen. Also, your relationships, both professional and personal, will improve. You can carve out that quintessential family time, or make sure you're making space for that cooler talk and catch up with your colleagues or do a little team building. Next, we can talk about how being organized will benefit you by creating better overall wellness. And well, how do we do that? We sleep. Sleep is king. So by making sure that you're sleeping a proper 7 to 9 hours a day. Who's done that? Because it's not me. You're not going to lay awake worrying about what's to come. You already know what's coming on your plate. This is definitely a big goal for me. You're also going to make sure that you're carving out time to go to the gym or go for a walk. Sleeping and exercising are going to boost your energy, and that way you have more resources available to you to get through the day and make sure you're getting everything that needs to be done. You're also going to create meal plans by only going to the grocery store once or twice a week instead of popping in at the end of each day. It's going to create more time and more space because who has time to go every single day? Next, we're going to talk about how being organized will reduce your anxiety and depression. According to the Centre for Addiction and Mental Health, 1 in 5 Canadians experience mental illness. And by the time most Canadians have reached the age of 40, 1 in 2 have or have had a mental illness. How do we work on those things? Self-care. Even 5 minutes a day can have a huge impact and help you refocus. And as you can see on the screen, there's a few tips there to get you started. Making sure you're getting good sleep, eating right by doing those meal plans that we talked about, exercising, all things we chatted about. Also make time for some meditation or take a bath or a hot shower, whichever is your preference, or try something new. Maybe take up a hobby. So now that we've talked about how being organized can benefit you, let's chat about a few tips to get you started. As I mentioned earlier, going to the grocery store once or twice a week instead of daily will help you create a routine. Routines help you know what's coming down the line. Now, in terms of the grocery store list, most of the major retailers have apps or profiles that you can create to make shopping lists that you can add or edit or create favorites to, because some weeks you need more, some weeks you need less. Now, one of my favorite tips and tricks is Evernote. Now, this app is available on Android or Apple devices, and that allows you to create editable honey-do lists or shareable documents that you can edit. Now for me, I use it for a couple of major things in my life. I have our traditional annual Christmas function for the family, and they can go in and see what still needs to be picked up or needs to be done, and they can say, hey, got it, whatever. I also have a honey-do list for my husband so that when he has time, he can get all those projects done because we all have those. Next, make your smartphones work for you. We are on these devices all the time, so make them work for it. You can use the reminders or alarms on your phone to say, hey, remember to take your medications. Or set an alarm to say, hey, if you haven't already done this, you need to be going for a walk by now. Next, have a planner, either electronic or old school. Let's use paper. Whatever works best for you, but then you know what's coming. Also, utilize the Outlook calendar on your smart devices. You can have all of your calendars, your work calendar, your personal calendar, your family calendar, all filtered into one space. And that way you can make daily, weekly, or even monthly plans, but have everything in one space. So you're not searching all these calendars all the time. Last but not least, declutter at your desk and at home. We all have that one closet, drawer, or even room that we like to avoid. So take 10 minutes at the end of each day to tidy up your desk or your kitchen. By decluttering, you will also make a weekly chores list much easier to follow when you're not buried under a mountain load of stuff. Now, speaking of that stuff, try not to get overwhelmed by the mountain. One drawer at a time is absolutely acceptable. Or maybe try to focus on a room over a weekend or during the evenings if that works better for your schedule. IKEA is a major tip. They have lots of affordable and wonderful storage solutions to help you deal with whatever didn't get recycled or donated. So, in review, we've talked about how being organized will reduce your stress and make you more productive at home and at work. It will also help you create better overall wellness and some tips to get you started. And as the famous Dutch painter once said, great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things being brought together. You don't have to change everything all at once. Small changes can have big impacts. I thank you very much for your time today, and a reminder that a copy of this presentation will be sent to your registered email address. Thanks very much, everybody. Have a great day.